بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. So inshallah, moving on, just to continue, we have As-Sugra, and how many maqsid do we have in this book? How many objectives, how many sections do we have? 4. Al-Muqaddimah, a first maqsid regarding Amil, a second regarding Ma'mul, and the third regarding I'rab. Correct? Then you have Al-Maqsid al-Awwal is an Amil. We said all fi'ls are Amil, some harf are Amil, and a few ism are Amil. Then we have an Amil that it doesn't really have a form, and then we have a few rules not totally linked under the first 4 chapters. Then we said we have the Fa'l Amil, either Qiyasi, they follow a particular rule, a particular structure, a system, and you can add to that list, like normal verbs. And these are what? A Fa'lul Lazim or Fa'lul Muta'addi. Fa'lul Lazim is an intransitive verb, it doesn't have a Maf'ul Bihi, and the Fa'lul Muta'addi is the one that has a Maf'ul Bihi. Yes? And then we have As-Sama'i, is those verbs which do not follow any particular rule. We heard the Arabs using this, and that's it. These rules, these verbs do a particular action. That's what we're saying here. So An-Nahw Lesson. So in Maqsid al-Awwal, in the Amil, then Al-Bab al-Awwal is Fa'l al-Amil, then we have Al-Qiyasi. Now after Qiyasi we had An-Nahw Lesson is Sama'iyun. This is what is Sama'i actually, this is what is Sama'i. It's Sama'iyun. The second type of verbs which govern and cause changes to other nouns or words after them are the Sama'i. Correct? وَهُوَ ثَلَاثَةُ أَقْسَامٍ. These are how many types? 3 types. And if you look at it here, we got this part, we got the Qiyasi, we got Lazim and Muta'addi, we finished those off before. Then we have Al-Fa'lun Naqis. And from those, last year we then Kana and Laysa are the very common ones. Yes? And we do 2 more. One is called Fa'lul Madhi wal Dham. You will do that. And we have here Sighata at-Ta'ajjub. 2 sighas for Ta'ajjub. What does this mean? It'll come short. There's no point me explaining right now. We're just going to expand on this now, the first one. So we have here, this is supposed to be a Sama'i. This is a mistake here, it was Sama'i. So Al-Qism al-Awwal, mean the first type of Sama'i are what? Al-Af'alun Naqisa. What are they? Al-Af'alun Naqisa. What are Af'alun Naqisa? Here Af'alun, nakira word followed by a sentence. It becomes a na'at. So these are verbs, and you have to add in what in translation, which. These are verbs which precede, tadkhulu, which enter upon. So instead of saying enter upon, what we're going to say? Which precede the mubtada and the khabar. So you have a jumla ismiya, and what do you put before it? A fa'lun naqis. They enter before it, come before it. Do you understand? وَتَرْفَعُ الْأَوَّلَ. The awwal refers to, this is the first, the second. Al-awwal, this is the thani. So وَتَرْفَعُ الْأَوَّلَ, it gives rafa' to the first. What does it do? It gives rafa' to the first. Meaning it makes the mubtada wa marfu'. Correct? So it has 2 qualities. One quality is تَدْخُلُ الْمُبْتَدَئِ وَالْخَبَرِ, and the second is وَتَرْفَعُ الْأَوَّلَ. وَتَرْفَعُ الْأَوَّلَ, and it makes the mubtada marfu'. Right. Now the verb samma is a fa'al muta'addi that has 2 maf'uls. We've done this before, maf'ul bihi and maf'ul bihi thanin. Correct? So for example, welcome to the Quran. وَإِنِّي سَمَّيْتُهَا Maryam. So samma is a verb, 2 is a fa'il, ha is maf'ul bihi, and Maryam is maf'ul bihi thanin. So you have 2 maf'ul bihis. So you know the rule, when you have a verb with 2 maf'ul bihis, when it becomes fa'al majhul, the first maf'ul bihi becomes what? Na'ibul fa'il, and the second maf'ul bihi stays a maf'ul bihi. So what's happened now? Well, you samma, what's the na'ibul fa'il is inside. The na'ibul fa'il is inside, meaning what? Al-awwal. The first is called ismaha. What's the first called? Ismaha. Well, you samma means to call, to name. So the first, meaning the mubtada, is called the ism of that fa'il. So it's called ism kana, ismu laysa. Do you understand? So these af'alun naqisa are verbs which precede or come onto the mubtada and the khabar. Wa tarfa'u al-awwala, it gives the first, meaning it gives the mubtada rafa', it makes a mubtada marfu'. Wa yusamma, ay the awwal. The first one is called, it's not called mubtada anymore, what's it called? Ismaha, the ism of the fa'il. You call it ismu kana, ismu laysa, etc., etc. Do you understand? Everyone following me? Understood? Yes. وَتَنْصِبُ الثَّانِيَةِ وَتَنْصِبُ الثَّانِيَةِ. What does that translate as? Second is what? Khabar. It makes the khabar what? وَيُسَمَّى خَبَرَهَا. And it is called what? The khabar of that verb. خَبْرُ كَانَ, خَبْرُ لَيْسَ, etc. Have you understood? Yes? Everyone following? Yes? Gee, what's the question? Okay. Samma is to call or to name. So samma is to call. When it's fa'al majhool, then what do you say? It is called. It is, yeah. So when it's ma'loom, fa'al ma'loom, you say you name it, you call it. When it's fa'al majhool, you say it is called. Any other questions? Okay. Pardon me? The khala yadkhulu came in the first nahwa to enter, to proceed. When you enter the jumla ismiya, you say what? It precedes the jumla ismiya. It doesn't enter onto it, but it precede is a better translation. Gee, any other questions? وَقَدْ يَكُونُ خَبَرُهَا جُمْلَةً. The word قَد. When the word قَد comes on فعل ماضي, it means what? Indeed or surely, certainly. When it comes on a فعل مضارع, what does it mean? Sometimes. Sometimes. What does it mean? Sometimes. So يَكُونُ خَبَرُهَا جُمْلَةً will mean what? It means what? Sometimes its khabar is a sentence, or it will be a sentence. So sometimes its khabar will be a sentence, meaning the khabar of the kana and laysa will be a whole sentence. Just keep that in mind, the note. Yes? So far so good? Yes? وَهِيَ أَرْبَعَةُ أَدْرُبٍ. Adrub is another name for what? Qisam, naw, darb. So darb is another name, so type. But it's a lower heading now. وَهِيَ أَرْبَعَةُ أَدْرُبٍ. What does that mean? This is of 4 subcategories. So let's look at the chart. So how is the book laid out? Maqsid is the highest one, then bab, then naw, then qisam, then darb. So that's the different headings basically. It's heading 1, heading 1.1, heading 1.2, heading 1.1.1, heading 1.1.1.1, heading 1.1.1. It's basically a way of, get it. It's easier way of. So now we're discussing the darb, the types of what? Fa'l naqis. So now look at it again. Maqsad al-awwal is regarding what? Amil. Then we have fa'l al-amil, harf amil, ism al-amil, invisible amil, ma'nawi amil, invisible and khatima. Then we have qiyasi verbs and we have sama'i verbs. The qiyasi verbs are either lazim or muta'addi, and the sama'i are either fa'lu naqis or fa'lu dham and mada and ta'ajjub, and we do those later on. This is what we're saying here. This has how many types? 4 types. This is what we're saying. This fa'lu naqis has how many types? 4 types. The first one is what we know already. Kana wa akhawatuha. Kana, what's akhawat mean? Ikhwat, ukhtun, akhawat, sisters. Kana and its sisters. Meaning kana is a fa'lu naqis and it has other sisters that have the similar structure and pattern and meaning. So kana and its sisters. After that we have af'alul muqarabati. What does qareeb mean? Close. So af'alul muqarabati, verbs that show the action is close. Meaning when this fa'lu naqis comes before the mubtada and khabar, what does it do? It shows about to, going to, soon. Yes? Af'alul raja. Raja yarju raja'an means what? Khawfan wa raja'an came in to hope. So af'alul raja, to show hope, meaning the speaker hopes the mubtada and the khabar come to about. So for example, Zayd is pious. I hope Zayd becomes pious. You understand? And shuru or shara'a yasha'u mean? To start, to commence. So af'alul shuru, those verbs that show that the verb is about to start, the action is about to take place. So there are 4 types of af'alun naqisa. This is the first one. Kana and its sisters, af'alul muqaraba, af'alul raja, and af'alul shuru. So these 4, af'alul shuru. So these 4 are what? Af'alun naqisa. All of these have an ism. Tarfa'ul isma wa tansibul khabara. Do you understand? Yes? And I know there's a lot of names, but as when we do them, we get used to them. So now we have to start again. Maqsid al-awwal, fa'al amil. Fa'al amil have qiyasi, follow rules, and sama'i, they don't follow any rules. Then we have what? The first type of sama'i is what? Af'alun naqisa. And there are 4 types of af'alun naqisa. The first one is what? Kana wa akhawatuha. Okay, this is going to be sama'i. This is all a mistake throughout. Okay? So, ad-darbul awwal, kana wa akhawatuha. The first type of sama'i verbs are af'alun, the first type of af'alun naqisa. The first type of sama'i verbs are af'alun naqisa. And from the fa'lun naqis, the first type is what? Kana wa akhawatuha. And how many are they? 13. They are 13. How many are they? 13. Al-awwalu kana. Al-awwalu kana. The first is kana. And you've done this before. What does kana mean? Was. Kana rajulu maridan. The man was sick. Kana enters onto the mubtada and the khabar. The mubtada becomes the ism of kana and it stays marfu. And the maridan, the khabar, is called khabar of kana and it becomes what? Mansoob. We've done that before. The next one is asbaha. What's the next word? Asbaha. What do you think asbaha means? Subah? What does subhan mean? Morning. So asbaha, what it does, it puts a time frame on the mubtada and the khabar. What does it do? It puts a time frame. So instead of saying ar-rajulu bari'un, bari'un means opposite of marid, healthy. What does it mean? The man was healthy when? As-subh mean, what's subh mean? Morning. So the man was healthy in the morning. So kana makes it past without any, this generally in the past, anytime in the past. And asbaha means what? In the morning. Do you understand? If it's fi'l madhi, it means the previous morning or previous mornings. And if it's yusbihu, it means the next morning. Yes? So asbaha ar-rajulu bari'an means what? The man was healthy or became healthy in the morning. The man was sick. Asbaha kana ar-rajulu maridan. Asbaha ar-rajulu bari'a. The man became what? Better in the morning. So asbaha means what? To be in the past tense, but what? Morning meaning. Adha, what is salat al-duha? No, that's before noon. Forenoon. So duha is forenoon. I'm not sure why this isn't messing around a bit. Forenoon. Let me write it on this side. It's called what? Forenoon. Yes? What does that mean now? That the mubtada and the khabar took place when? Forenoon. Like before dawn. Not dawn, before zawal, before zuhar time. Adhha ar-rajulu amilan. The man was spent the forenoon amilan, amila ya'malu, working. So before noon the man was working. So adha is a fi'lun naqis from the kana and akhawatuha. And all of these give a time aspect to the mubtada and the khabar. And the mubtada is now called what? Ism, not the mubtada anymore. It's called the ism of kana, of adha. So adha ar-rajulu amilan. Adha ar-rajulu amilan. The man was what? Amilan. The man was working before in the forenoon. Understood?
Yeah. The two tenses.
And ar-rabi'u is amsa. What does amsa mean? What does masa mean? Guess? Evening. So amsa ar-rajulu kallan. What does kallan mean? Tired. So what does that mean? Amsa ar-rajulu kallan. He spent the forenoon working, so in the evening he was tired. So the man was tired in the evening. So what does amsa do? Amsa gives a evening meaning to the ism and the khabar. Yes, so masa is evening. Okay, so amsa ar-rajulu kallan. The man was tired in the evening. Are you following Huzaifa how it works? Muhammad? Everybody online? Yes? So kana means simply was, Asbah means in the morning, Adha means forenoon, and Amsa means in the evening. Dhalla means all day long. Because dhil means shade. What does dhillun mean? When do you get the shade? Night. Night. Light. But normally when you have a shade from the sun. In the day. So dhalla means the day. So dhalla as-sa'imu mustaghfira. Dhalla as-sa'imu mustaghfira. What does that mean? Sa'im means the fasting person spent the day istaghfara yastaghfiru istighfaran, seeking forgiveness. Dhalla as-sa'imu mustaghfira. The fasting person spent the day seeking forgiveness. Understood? So the fasting person spent the day seeking forgiveness. Understood? Yes? Everybody following? Bata, night. What's a bait? So normally we spend a lot of time in our houses, but normally what happens? You sleep at night and during the day you go to work. The women go out the house to go and cook, the men go to the fields to start farming or doing business, and you come home at night time to spend the night. So bait is what a house, that's where you spend the night. So bata yabitu baytutatan is to spend the night. So bata al-abidu sajidan would mean what? Bata al-abidu sajidan.
The worshipper spent the night in.
Very good. The worshipper spent the night in prostration. The worshipper spent the night in prostration. So again, this fa'lu naqis comes under ism, mubtada and the khabar. Ism stays marfu' and the khabar becomes mansoob. And you don't call it mubtada anymore, you call it ism. And all of these give a time aspect. Sara. Sara means to become. What does it mean? To become. To change from one state to another. Sara means what? To change from one state to another. So Sara al-jahilu aliman. What does that mean? Sara al-jahilu aliman. Yeah, so the ignorant person became learned. He studied, he became learned. So the ignorant person became learned. Athaminu ma bariha. The next few now, with ma at the beginning, they all mean to continue to. What does ma bariha mean? To continue to. So ma bariha al-hajju mulabbiyan. What does mulabbiyan mean? Anybody can tell me? What's the root letters? Labba yulabbi. Talbiyatan. What talbiya mean? لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك. That's what? تلبية. So ملبيا, to read the تلبية. So ما بريح الحاج ملبيا. How do you translate that? The ما بريها, that means to. No, you said did not continue. The whole word ma bariha together means continue. Bariha on its own means to stop. So ma bariha did not stop. What does did not stop mean? Continue. Yeah, the haji did. So the haji, don't say did not stop. You say the haji continued to read the talbiyah. So ma bariha al-hajju mulabbiyan. The haji continued to read the talbiyah. So ma bariha is the fa'lu naqis, al-haju ism of ma bariha, mulabbiyan is the khabar of ma bariha. Do you understand? Rajab, you following? All day long, dhalla, all day long, to remain during the day, spend the day. Okay. At-tasi'u, manfakka, same thing. What does manfakka mean? Same thing. All the ones with ma have the same meaning. To continue. So man fakkal muznibu rajia. Aznaba yuznibu. What does dhambun mean? Dhambun, dhunub? Sin. So muznib, the sinful person. So man fakkal muznibu rajia. The sinful person remained. Raja yarju, raja'an, hopeful. So the sinful person remained hopeful that what? Allah will forgive him. So man fakka means what? To continue, to remain. Yes? And Al-Muthnib, the sinful person, remained what? Hopeful. So all of these, you have a fa'lun naqis coming before the mubtada and the khabar. The mubtada becomes the ism and it stays marfu', and the khabar becomes mansoob. And you have to add that meaning to the mubtada and the khabar. So manfaka means continue. So basically, al-mudhnibu rajin would mean what? The sinful person is hopeful. Manfaka al-mudhnibu rajian, the sinful person not is but becomes what now? Remain. The sinful person remained hopeful. Same with mazala. Mazala also means what? Continue. Mazala, manfakka, ma bariha, and mazala. All of them mean what? To continue. To mazala al-hujjaju waqifin. So, waqif was wuquf of Arafah mean. Wuquf. When you stand in Arafah, standing. So, the hujjaj remained standing. The hujjaj remained standing. So, mazala al-hujjaju waqifin. The hujjaj remained standing. Understood? Ma fati'a means to remain. Ma fati'a al-mudhnibu nadiman. What does nadim mean? Nadama? Nadima yandamu nadamatan. Remorseful, regretful. So ma fati'a al-mudhnibu nadiman. What does that mean? The sinful person remained remorseful or regretful. So ma fati al-mudhnibu nadiman. The sinful person remained remorseful or regretful. Yeah, now this is slightly different. Madama. Madama means what? As long as. What does madama mean? As long as. Atlubul ilma. What does atlubul ilma mean? I will seek knowledge. And madama, so dama, dama, damu, dama, damata, dumna, dumta, dumtama, dumtum, dumti, dumtama, dumtunna, dumtu. So madumtu means as long as I, and hayyan, as I live. So I will seek knowledge. Atlubul ilma, I will seek knowledge. And then madumtu hayya, so dama is fa'lun naqis. The two is the ism of kana. Ism of dama is a zamir. And hayyan is a khabar of madama. So atlubul ilma, I will seek knowledge. Ma dumtu hayya. What does that mean? As long as I live. So ma dumtu, madama is a verb because obviously it's what now? A pronoun inside of it. So dumtu, the pronoun is inside. Dumtu. So the ism is the ta marbut, the ta of damma, and the hayyan is a khabar. So madama means what? As long as. So I will seek knowledge as long as I am alive.
So what do I say?
Okay, and the last one is what? Laysa. And we then laysa in the book form. Laysa means what? Negative. Laysa, negative. Nahu, laysa rabbuna zalima. Our Lord is not. What does zalim mean? Oppressive. Laysa, example, laysa rabbuna zalima. Understood? So if you summarize it, we have here, the maqsid al-awwal is an amil. Then we have fa'lul amil, harf amil, ismul amil, the unseen amil, and a supplement. Then we have fa'l amil is qiyasi, is fa'l lazim, fa'l muta'addi, and the sama'i is what? Al-af'al al-naqisa. What are they? Af'al al-naqisa, we've done that one. Fa'l al-madhi wa dham, we don't know what that is, we'll do that later on. And fa'l al-ta'ajjub, we don't even know what that is at the moment, we'll do that later on. And then we said here, the af'al al-naqisa, the first type is what? Kana wa akhawatuha. Finished. And how many are they altogether? Kana wa akhawatuha? 13. Understood? Everyone following? Any questions?
The first 6 are going to be the ghaib. Yeah? And the next 6 are going to be the af'al, and the last 2 are going to be the...
Okay. Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.